Hello everybody, this is JudiciousFire. I'm up on the iOS server. I'm going to be recording a number of events tonight. Tonight is a busy night in terms of guild life. I had a lot of topics that I wanted to address and made notes and put them in an order, but I kind of let the date and the time dictate what tonight's topic was going to be. Tonight's topic is a look at some of the events that are available to a player if he or she joins a guild. Let's take a look at the Guild Hub. It is January 16th, 2019. It is a torch battle. This is an event that it goes back, I guess, to the invention of guilds, to the first unification of a guild. It's one of the primary guild functions or events that's available to a player if you choose to join a guild. Torch battle, I'll play it out through the course of the evening. It's going to start in about maybe 10 minutes. It is game time, system time 2036. The clock functioning on a 24-hour rotation like a military clock. This is a global game, so what ends up happening is while the system time is the same for every player, the time that you, the player, are in the game will change based on your location. A global game means that maybe those players in Europe who choose to be on this particular server, the iOS server, they might be in bed right now and are unable to take place in events that have a particular start time. And for guilds, just off the top of my head, that would be Torch, and certainly it would be Fortress Feud. Today is not a Fortress Feud day. We can't get into that. But I'm going to show you Torch. I'm going to show you the battle against the boss. This will be the original boss, the boss that provides honor badges as the reward in that game mode. And I'm going to show you also the boss that is, I believe it is boss 5. Let me go back in. Go to guild events. Everything I'm showing you, you have the ability to see if you are a member of a guild. We challenge a boss. Challenge 2. Yes, boss 5. Okay, in screen 1, you have a total of 4 different bosses. Boss 5 is, and I cannot move to the left or right, it is an event unto itself. Boss 5, also known as the merits boss. The boss that provides merits as the reward in the game mode. It is 2038 system time. Now, I should look at Torch first. And Torch, as I have written on the guild notice, Torch is something that anyone can participate in who is a part of this guild. We go and we play a game of capture the flag, basically. And what that means is I'm going to send out 10 heroes to go steal a torch flag, a point, if you will, for the home team, while other guilds may send their heroes against us. Any hero that they have who gets through, who is not stopped by our defenders, will gain 1 point against us. And whoever has the most points at the end of the torch battle is the victor. You receive honor badges and you receive shards as the reward, like it is today in Castle Clash, and this will be a whole different video. Not a rant video, but a suggestion video. The game rewards that are available, the rewards you get for normal gameplay in any normal game mode, not boosted by paying dollars or cents, by paying currency of any kind. Normal everyday game modes, they don't provide rewards that are able to keep up with the demand of today's heroes. It's very resource heavy to upgrade your heroes, and the normal game modes do not provide the rewards necessary. It is something that I would suggest the makers of this game, IGG, Castle Clash, it's something I suggest that they look into very, very quickly, and they multiply. Well, let me begin with a different word. They update, meaning they provide rewards that are beneficial in today's game, and they multiply. You take those current rewards. Imagine being able to get level 9 talent runes. Imagine being able to get even level 3 crest sets by competing in different game modes. And then multiply. You give me more of those, and it is a way of rewarding consistent players of this game, the loyal players of this game, and it is a way also of evening the playing field. I will not use the word fair. Everybody's got a different definition of the word fair. I will use the word equitable. That can be quantified, okay? If I'm able to purchase 3 years worth of fame for X number of dollars, then someone who's playing for 3 years will, at the very least, be 3 years behind me based on that one purchase. And that is the inherent problem. This is something that happened with the Bazaar. Anyway, I'm off on a different topic. It is now Torch Battle. I'm going to, in the last 3 minutes before this starts, I'm going to review something. This is something that the vast majority of certainly long-term Castle Clash players know. I think that many newer players know. I think that I just believe that not all players know. So this doesn't go out to everybody. It goes out to those who are new to the game. The Torch Battle, completely ignore it. Okay? Don't do anything. Pretend there is no Torch Battle. Let's look at my guild notice. I'm telling you, I'm trying to communicate. This is another thing. I'll get into it later. I'm trying to communicate that today is a Torch Battle. No hauling, no activating your heroes, no engaging in Torch Battle until system time 2045. We've got 2 more minutes. Then, in those minutes afterwards, you defend. I review this. Do not just completely pretend that Torch Battle isn't happening until system time 2045. Make no movements. Do not engage the enemy. Do not even open the screen. Pretend it is not an event day until 2045. There is a reason for this. Okay. Torch Battle ends at system time 2100. That is in approximately 17 and a half minutes from now. It will end at that time, and whoever has the most number of points is declared the winner. So people figured out pretty early on. This is another thing that needs updating. People figured out pretty early on in the game that if you just send all your heroes out to steal points, to capture the flag, if you just do it during the last 15 or 10 minutes of the event, then you stand a much better chance than doing it for the approximately 16 hours that the event is open. Better to just send your heroes off the last couple of minutes, make sure that they get their points, don't send them so late that they don't arrive. Maybe, I would say at the very least, 8 minutes before 2100. So system time 2052. Many choose to go at 15 minutes before. I think somewhere in the middle, maybe. I'll send it about 11 minutes before. But I'm going to be on guard the whole time. Now, what I've done in order to make things more equitable from a viewer perspective, there are certainly free-to-play players who might be watching this and say, hey, I don't have that hero. I don't have, whatever that pet is. I've just taken that stuff off, okay? And I'm just going to be using the old school heroes, the shard heroes, the heroes that are available for purchase in the Heroes Altar for a nominal accumulation of shards, a week's worth of shards. And you can get yourself a nice hero. And we've gone into this topic, and we'll go into it again if properly outfitted with a nice talent. And they do come up, and Castle Clash is giving out a lot these days to free to play. In terms of the occasional the occasional reward that is actually useful to your account. And we go into the guild hub first, and let's go into guild events, and we go to we see many different event doors in front of us. We can challenge bosses all the way to the left. We have this torch battle available to us. We have, and I'm gonna scare you in a minute, okay? You hold on to your popcorn. We have a Guild Wars screen. We've got a Fortress Feud screen, and then we have this mysterious feature. This mysterious feature. I've been staying tuned to see the big reveal on this mysterious feature for longer than I would care to count. And when it finally comes, I tell you, I'm gonna need at least another root beer in order to sustain myself through that process. Let's go through the guild events. We going back to Torch Battle. We're able to enter. Okay, we see that the event time, I'm going to look down at the bottom of the screen. There's a clock that's counting down. It's letting us know that there's approximately 13 minutes and 10 seconds left in this event. And if I send all my heroes now, they stand a pretty good chance of just each scoring a point and stealing a torch, of stealing a flag. Yeah, capture the flag. Okay, let's take a look at the very top of the screen. Very top of the screen gives us info about what we're supposed to do. It's not, these aren't instructions. They're basically just commands. We go to Haul Torch, the next option. We have the ability in this screen to choose which guild we want to attack, which guild we want to steal those flames from. Next tab at the top, we go to Guard Torch. I'm really hoping, it might not happen. This is the way of the game. I'm really hoping we get attacked so I'm able to engage the enemy in that mode. And then we have this haul info. And if I will not go into it, but some, and this is universal, this is worldwide, pretend that the torch isn't happening until at least, at most, the last 15 minutes, at least the last 8, okay? Just in that 7-minute window, actually do something that's related to torch. Otherwise, pretend it's not even an event day. We're at, let's start to assemble this team. We go into guild events, we go back into torch battle. We're going to haul. We're going to send our heroes out into the field to steal a flag, if you will, capture the flag. We see all of these are all guilds that are represented. Which guild do we want to attack? You know, a lot of, some players say, oh, I want to attack guild number 1. These guilds are ranked in a sort of a mysterious feature way. The guilds at the top of this leaderboard have very active players who are online right now, who are able to repel, defend, stop your heroes, stop them from stealing that flag. Never attack the top guilds. This is what you do. Okay, well, down at the bottom, I have the ability to skip ahead. And I skip ahead, and you see the numbers are now getting higher and higher. These guilds are lower ranked. Number 1 guild, that was a very active, strong guild. I go all the way to the back. I'm stopping at 300. Doesn't allow me to go past rank 300. 300 would be considered, and I can say this about it because it's got a question mark. We don't know. Rank 300 would be the guild that's asleep right now. They don't have defenders. So typically I attack somewhere in the 200 to 300 range. And this is what I ask people to do in the guild. Attack a guild that's asleep right now. And they can't repel your enemy. So let's attack guild 250. I press Hall. I'm going to send out normal. Maybe I want these guys to repel the enemy in case that happens. Okay, I'll send a little ladder heroes, Gen 2 heroes. Let's go. Oh my gosh, let's go with the A-team. I'm calling on you one more time, A-team. Our friend Harpy Queen. We send her out in the field. She's going to take... Now we see Harpy Queen. She's moving. It's going to take her 5 minutes and 13 seconds to reach the enemy. People don't care that they don't have Harpy Queen. I care. After Harpy, we had... Oh my gosh, we had our friend Candy Cane, who people used to laugh at. No. She ripped up some insane dungeons. Harpy Queen, the dungeon mistress, is her new name. Where is every? What a horrible system we have. What a horrible interface. Okay, I'm hauling. I'm sending out. What's her name? That's what they used to say about her. That she didn't have a name. No, she's Lady Leo, the lady of the dungeons. Let's send out. Oh my gosh, let's send out the Muhammad Ali of guarding a warehouse space. No. He's that's Drakax. He's the dragon riding dungeon man. I might have some certain people on base, or I might have a couple of people who are not available because they're in a tower. That might be the case. Let me just throw out some other guys. Who am I not using? Let's use our friend Mctessa. Let's send Mctessa out there. Makes no difference really. All these guilds are asleep. Makes no difference who I send. So it was Maltanica, the dungeon dragon, the ruler of the dungeons. Unbelievable his performance in battle. We'll send our buddy Dread Drake. They gave it octopus skin too. The cosmetic feature upgrades. I don't know what kind of a sales pitch some of these cosmetic feature upgrades, how they were accepted. Let's turn Dread Drake into an octopus. Let's turn Vlad Dracula into some sort of a court jester. Alright, so these guys have been sent out in the field. They're all going to try to grab a flag, capture the flag, capture the flame. We're still not getting attacked. Well, I'm showing you half of what Torch Battle is, and that is pretending that Torch Battle isn't. Alright, that's half the battle right there. Then at 20:45 at the most, you send out your heroes into the field. You haul against guilds 200 to 300 in the rankings. Those guilds, because it is a worldwide game, those guilds are asleep. There's one individual who has been hitting espresso shots. That person is guarding, but that's the only person. So we're sending out our folks into the field. We're still not getting attacked. That makes no difference. Eggs. I'm so tired of eggs. Alright. At 2100, this event will end. And you'll see the rewards. They'll be petty. Petty enough that people don't engage in this game mode. Maximum, you can get a couple of 100 shards. Maximum, you can get, I think, 10,000 honor badges. It's ridiculous. I might be off by those figures, but I'll tell you that to double evolve a hero in today's game, you need a gargantuan sum. And a Torch Battle isn't going to be able to fill that gap. So that is an issue that needs to be dealt with. I go back again. I'm sorry for the repetitive movements, but I have to keep checking if we're being attacked. I have to guard the 150 shards I might gain tonight. Why am I doing this event? There's a good question I asked myself just now. Why am I doing this event? I'm doing it because the events in Castle Clash are many and varied. There are events where I can do just by myself that I truly enjoy. There are events that I do look at as a task. This is one of those tasks. I'm a member of a guild. I don't have to be. I can play the game essentially the same without being a member of a guild. But I have chosen to join a guild. And I think that if you choose to join a guild, then you are accepting a responsibility to engage in the events provided by that guild. If I don't want to do Torch Battle, if I want to skip Fortress Feud, if I want to take a 0 in Guild Wars, then why am I in a guild? I should be playing a solo game, which you can be nearly as successful. So I try my best. This is the answer. I do Torch because I try to engage in the guild events because I have chosen to be a member of a guild. We are looking at approximately 3.5 minutes until Torch Battle is over. Are we being attacked? We're still not being attacked. Look at us. No one cares. Oh, we got about 2.5 minutes left in the event. I said I was going to get 150 shards. Look at that number. I've been here before. Okay, I'm not clairvoyant. I've done this time and time again. And the few that engage in it, because really, even at max reward, it's worthless. The few that engage in this game would receive this petty sum. I can buy one slime. At 2100, we're going to get a very quick change. I'm going to have to immediately attack the boss. Okay, I do this because others are going to attack the boss, and the boss is very weak. I don't want the boss to be killed before I'm able to show you the boss. The boss is the boss battle we have set. We have an ability to choose what time we want to do the boss battle. We have chosen system time 2100 because a lot of events in guild life coincide with system time 2100. So it's a popular time, and that's why we went with it. Can be changed anytime we choose. At system time 2100, I'm going to have to attack a big demon, if you will. And that big demon, where is he? It'll be this gentleman right here. I can look by hitting the exclamation point. He deals massive damage to heroes around him, and he stuns you. He has a damage cap. He cannot be hurt for more than 35,000 damage per hit. So if a hero does 36,000 damage every time the hero hits somebody, it'll only register for 35. You're not trying to go for damage against this boss. The damage will be lost. The mass damage that the boss can take is 35,000. What you're going for against boss, the honor badge boss 3, what you're going for is speed. Because the damage cap exists, you want to hit the boss then as many times as possible. And every time you hit, hopefully, you're hitting for 35,000. These will accumulate over time, and the boss will get killed pretty quickly. There are many teams that you can put together against this boss. This boss is like the old... it's sort of like a old black and white television. Okay, there are many ways that we can plug this into the wall. It's still going to give you the same picture. The boss is not difficult. This is I'll tell you a story later if I have the time. Probably after the boss. The boss is not considered difficult, but the boss is still something that I do anyway. Challenge a boss. Let's get ready. Okay, so I'm going to form a team. What team do I want? Okay, very quickly. My gosh, I'm running out of time. I want to use old school heroes. I need a Pumpkin Duke, otherwise this is going to take forever. I need, who else do I want to use? I need somebody to stun the guy. Where's Champion? Old school Champion style. We need, I need a tank. Somebody up in front who's going to be able to take damage. Who can that be? Oh my. Let's do Atlanticor. The guy can take some damage. Reflect it back at the boss. We need Druid in order to get a little bit of healing going. Oh, we need Succubus in order to keep the damage down. She reduces the enemy's ability to whack you. And we need somebody who's real fast, like Ninja. Okay, great. It's like the old days. Challenge that boss. I got in just in time. Okay. Take on this boss. I have a battle start at the top. It'll start in 25 seconds. It's in my best interest to start right away. Right after the battle start expires. All right, so I don't want to lose any time. I only really get one shot at this because other guildies are attacking as well. I'm going to use a tank, a wall, a shield, somebody who's going to be able to take a lot of damage. I'm going to use Atlanticor, this guy down here. I'm going to put him out first. The boss will notice Atlanticor and immediately go and start moving in his direction. The moment he starts moving, that means he's not going to move anywhere else. He's locked in on an Atlanticor. At that moment, you can drop all your other heroes, practically on top of the guy. This goes with any boss. It goes with Archdemon. Any demon, centaur, big brute is going to lock in on the first hero. Once that big brute locks in on the hero, the brute's not going to move anywhere else. I'll show you. I'll drop Atlanticor on the right, really far away. Now watch the boss. He'll cue in on Atlanticor and just start moving there. Boom. Now he's not going to move at all. Now I'll tell you what. You have two spells. I would only ever, against any boss, against any demon, against any centaur, against the archdemon, I would never use the shield. The shield stops your heroes from taking damage. There are two ways to gain, there are three ways to gain energy in this game. One through insignia or talent, I call them the same, that gives you energy, and one through taking damage, and also a third way by attacking. By using the shield, you take away at the very least 1/3 of your ability to create energy. You have to be taking some damage. Don't use the shield. It's just going to make you weaker in terms of your energy production. I've taken off, anybody wants to make fun of my score, please, I'll laugh with you. I've taken everything off in order to make this as equitable as possible. It's taken a long time with these old shard heroes. It's a funny story I'll tell you once. I do as much damage as I possibly can. You see the number 35,000 again. That's the damage cap. Boss can't take more than 35,000 damage per hit. We're trying to get that number to appear as many times as possible. We're trying to attack with fast heroes. We're trying to get our attack rate up. All right. We did, let's count it, 120 million damage in, what's the time? About 2 some minutes. And we did that using some old school heroes, but of course, today's, equipment, today, in terms of destiny, in terms of the talents that they give out. I mean, Pumpkin Duke isn't now what he was back in the day. Pumpkin Duke is a speed demon now. I mean, he's a Ferrari. We are now at system time 2104. We just beat the boss. Let's go back into the guild events. We go back to challenge the boss. Let's look at our results. We look at the boss. We see the results. We see how much damage we did. We see the honor badges that we won. You see, I got 3rd place. That's fantastic. Okay, apparently not 4 people, no more than 3 engaged in battle, but of them, I was also a victor against the boss. I got 14,300 honor badges for this. Um, let's go back into the guild. We go into guild events. We go into torch battle. The torch battle has ended. The next time a torch battle begins is in approximately 2.5 days. Okay, we got, looking down at the bottom of the screen, for our time in torch, we've got 2,212 honor badges, as well as 158 shards. We claim it. We just got some nice rewards. Okay, something else happens at system time 2100, and that is a reset of the warehouse. Let's go to the warehouse building. Let's go to, we see 4 tabs: info, item, trunk, insignia, bag, buy items. Let's go to buy items. The items that were available for the last 24 hours system time, in any time being a full day, those items that were available, they have now changed. They have refreshed. We go to the warehouse. So what do we got? We got a key. We've got some books down here. A couple of slimes. We got a card that gives us a hero. What is this? We've got an arena card, a chance to fight in the arena an extra time. You see that some of the prices, you see how many merits it's going to cost you. Some of the prices are ridiculous. Ridiculous in terms of the spectrum of cost. Okay, let's look at only the 3 at the top, left hand side. All right, I guess a couple of little honor badges, an insignificant amount of honor badges, going to cost me 42 merits. 55 merits for an insignificant amount of shards, and it jumps up to 13,000. It just boom, we're right up to 13,000. And that 13,000 is going to get me a legendary hero card. You can do this with any card that is available in the game of Castle Clash. You see the card, you click it one time, you touch it one time, and it's going to show you a little spyglass, a little magnifying glass. Touch the magnifying glass, and now you can see the heroes that are available through opening this card. The heroes that are displayed are the heroes that you could possibly get if you open up this card. You are guaranteed to get one of them. And you scroll down and you see that many different heroes are available in this particular card. Each row is 5, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 different heroes are possible through this particular card. It costs 13,000 merits. Well, why not? Let's buy it. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Pardon my warehouse. It's a mess. I need to get a maid here. All right. So what do we have? We have 23 possible heroes. Now this is a card 1. They give out cards of varying degrees, different tiers. The 1 of anything is the lowest denomination. You get up to a hero card 3, for example, and it gives out more modern heroes. These are some old school heroes. With any card, when you hit the spyglass, it's going to show you all of the heroes that are available, but it will show you the heroes in terms of their release date, and I think to a certain degree their rarity. Alright, so you go up to the very top row. You got Paladin. He's the first hero released. He's probably the one you want the least. But you probably stand the most chance of getting a Paladin. You go all the way down to the bottom. This happens with a hero card 3. The last one at the bottom might be a Dove Keeper. What are you going to get? You're going to get an Athene. Okay, she's in the top row. At the bottom, you have Skull Knight, who's probably... let me take a look at this. 1, 2, 3. I would say Pumpkin Duke is essential. Cupid is amazing for, especially for an account that's trying to get going quickly. Aries does what Aries does, which is something very unique. Uh, and Skull Knight, I mean, you'd want Skull Knight on your team because the other guys are not going to make it. So Skull Knight, we have the least chance I would suspect of getting. Let's see what we get. Yeah, let's use it. Let's open it up. What we get? Oh, we got a paladin. Okay, all right. Again, I'm not clairvoyant. I've been here before. Okay, there's no mystery. There's no trick. Of the available heroes, the first one listed is not only the oldest. It is, I can only guess. I have no evidence to back this up. I've opened up hero cards. It is also the one that you stand the highest chance of getting. Okay, it is the most plentiful, the most bountiful. The one at the bottom, the Skull Knight in that example, the Dove Keeper maybe in Hero Card 3. This is the hero that you have to do. You have to make the moonshot. Okay, you have to throw the ping pong ball up in the air, and somehow it rockets off to the moon. And gravity has no effect whatsoever. You've got to perform a miracle, is what I'm saying. You have to be super lucky. So, we are maybe 19 minutes from the next boss. Next boss is going to take a little bit of time to explain. I want to try to spread the word to some who are maybe not familiar with that particular boss, and to give a couple of tips. The boss can be a tough challenge to take down, with only 1-2 people who might be attacking the boss. Again, the rewards are such a slap in the face that why would you want to beat on a boss for 20 minutes? The effort is not worth the reward. There is a disproportion between the amount of time I'm spending. I feel this way about Fortress Feud. The amount of time I'm spending grinding away in a game mode, and the reward that I'm receiving as a player. I'd still do the game mode because I love the game, and because I joined a guild, and because I say I want to contribute. But my contribution, although a lot of fun in a game mode, since I'm not getting any bang for my buck. I'll talk about. I just want to tell a story. I thought about it when I was attacking boss 3, the first boss. It's running AH. Just who's sitting on base. I don't have any pets. I don't have any hocus pocus. Let's see what happens. I was running slow mode. So the very first, I started playing Castle Clash in May of 2014. The very first guild that I joined, and this was after maybe a couple of months as a player. I thought, I'm pretty weak. My heroes don't do anything. I was still learning about the game. I didn't know what Pumpkin Duke would do. I didn't know about these heroes. I was interested in learning about them, and I sought out answers. My very first Pumpkin Duke, if I remember correctly, and I got one very early in the game, maybe week 1. My very first Pumpkin Duke, I consumed him, which is the equivalent of deleting something. I consumed him to I think maybe Ninja. I thought Ninja, he does a lot of damage. This other guy, this Pumpkin Man, he doesn't do any damage to people. There's nothing. There's no descriptor of damage. I don't want that. I'm gonna feed him to Ninja. Well, anyway, it would be several months that would pass by until I had another Pumpkin Duke, till I was lucky enough to get another Pumpkin Duke, and to start to understand this game, to understand what heroes do, their skill, the talent that's available, how they work together. I needed to know this, I thought, before I joined a group. I was aware of guilds, but I didn't want to join a guild and embarrass myself. I wanted to have an account that at the very least had a 5 or 6 member team that I could use in combat in a variety of situations. I believe I had a five hero bases. I thought eventually when I learned, I thought, okay, I got five good heroes, and I've got Pumpkin Dukes who I need to use for different battles. I knew that much at the time. All right, I finally joined a guild. This is a guild that no longer exists. The players that I refer to uh, do not play this game anymore. I had conversations with them years ago. Okay, so the very first guild that I joined, oh, it was horrific. Uh, I joined this guild. I had never fought the boss before. It's a game mode that's only available if you join a guild. So thereby, I had never had that experience. Uh, the guild leader was online. The vice leaders, the two of them, frickin' frack, they were online as well. They said, "Hey, welcome," you know, and I said, "Oh, hello," and they said, "You're on, bro," and I said, "What?" They said, "You're on." I said, "What am I supposed?" They said, "You keep your mouth shut and stop asking questions and go into the game mode boss challenge and then go fight the boss. And this is what we're going to do." And I'm speechless at this point. I'm not typing. This is what we're going to do. We're going to evaluate your ability, your performance against this honor badge boss 3. We're going to evaluate that, and then we're going to tell you whether or not we're going to kick you out. I couldn't believe it. Now, maybe different players, of course, different people, different players react in different ways. I just bit my lip. I said, sure. I typed in yes. I'm doing that. I go in. What do I do? You touch this button. You touch that button, and let's see how much damage you do against the boss in the time that you're given. Not the total time against the boss in one attack. I believe, yes, in one attack. Let's see how much damage you do. I mean, this was a foreign language to me. In Within seconds, I was obliterated. The boss battle began. I finally figured out how to start it. I dropped my heroes onto the board. I knew that much, and the boss whacked each one of them. I took 6 swings, or 5 swings, however many heroes that were available. All of a sudden, all my heroes dead. Okay, if I remember the number correctly, I did something like 90,000 damage. The boss has 120 million. 120 million health. I did something like 90,000 damage. I came out of I sprang out of the boss battle. I'm back into the guild communication system. And the guild, frickin' frack, the guild vices, they type out, "You're a loser, you're a fool." All these disparagements, they're cutting into me. The leader agreed with them. Said, you don't know what you're doing. You don't understand how even this game mode functions. But we're going to keep you around and allow you a few days to get better, and then we're going to, again, publicly in front of everyone in the public guild chat, we're going to reevaluate you. And that's it, bro. All right. Well, that was the totality of the message that was given to me as a player. I was told, "You're terrible. What you did was wrong, and it better not happen again." That was the message. This is a very distinct, a very certain style of management. This is do as I say, but not as I do. This is the kind of manager who goes boot stomping through the halls, making a heck of a fuss, heck of a noise, telling employees, guild members, that you're doing a bad job. But what this manager never does is tell people how to do a good job. This is the essence of the argument. This is a person who complains but never takes the time to teach. The guild leader and frickin' frack, the vices should have told me this is how it's done, or given me an address that I could look this information up, or allowed me the opportunity to learn from other guildmates. I was told I did a bad job. I really wasn't communicated with for the next couple of days until I was called upon again to step up to the board and do a math problem in front of everybody. And I look at that and I keep remembering, I keep trying to remind myself, as a member and a manager of a guild, it's like being a math teacher. I have no experience in being a math teacher. But if I wrote 3 plus 3 equals on the board, and I asked the kids in the class, kids, what's the answer? If they told me 3 plus 3 equals 7, the wrong answer, and I yelled at them. I told them that they weren't good at what they do, they would never learn the right answer. I should start with saying hello to them and forming a bond. Then we move to math, okay? Let's first have a teacher that we like. Let's first have a classroom where we feel comfortable being who we are and we can express ourselves. All right, first of all, we haven't done a math problem yet. Lord, this is week 1. Let's get to know each other. Let's build a team. Then we have a math lesson, and we learn 1, and we learn 2, and then we learn 3. So on the day, and I would announce a week beforehand and allow people to understand, allow the team to understand, when we're all going to solve a math problem together, on that day, we can write 3 plus 3 equals, and everybody in the class is going to say 6. And if somebody doesn't, that's a good thing. That's an opportunity again to teach and learn. I was not a part of that experience. I have found in only a handful of guilds, and I don't ever, without direct permission from the person, I don't ever want to call out anyone's player name, IGG, ID. I don't think that's my right. I have been in guilds that have been so well run by incredibly supportive and team-oriented people. You can't conflate Castle Clash in the way somebody plays a video game with who they are as a person in the real world. Okay, it's 2 different things. You could name yourself the Unabomber in this particular game. Okay, that doesn't mean you're weird. It just means that you thought, oh, you're gonna blow up a bunch of heroes. You know, you're Kid Dynamite. It doesn't mean. You could be an older person in your Kid Dynamite. It doesn't mean that's who you are in the real world. But over time, we do reveal some character qualities, some characteristics. Over time, in maybe my year in that guild, over time I learned maybe what not to do. That is a teacher as well. It is not a good teacher. If you write 3 plus 3 equals 7 on the board and tell all the students in class this isn't the right answer, they'll never know what the right answer is. So teach from the positive. Eventually I became a vice leader in that guild. I remember, I think Frack stopped playing the game. Frick still remained. I became the second vice. I remember many a player, especially people who would just bring into the guild, I would explain things to them in the chat, how the guild functions, the events, the times. Let them know that they're welcome. If they have questions, hey, if I'm online, send me a question. If I can make a suggestion, and they would always interrupt me with a hold on, pause, and they would type in, I just talked to Frick, the other vice, yeah, and he cursed at me, and he called me a deviant. It's amazing how different you are. And this was the common theme, although maybe communicated using a different language. And I would always say, he's got a heart of gold. I would apologize for him. Say, deep down he's like a heart of gold. He's like Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket, that movie about that Stanley Kubrick movie. He's an individual who is unable or unwilling, due to character or due to experience or due to post or position, unable to display emotion. Does not mean that this individual doesn't have emotion to display, but unable, unwilling, by personal choice or by position, to show that emotion. This is the kind of leadership style I'm talking about. Okay, do as I say, not as I do. You're doing something wrong, but I'm not going to tell you what right is. I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to use the positive example. I'm certainly going to chastise you for not knowing the right answer. Well, anyway, that particular platoon sergeant was unable to display emotion due, I think, to his job, more so. And if he would just so much as frown at you and say, "Look, buddy, you're not a total waste of a human being," well, that was the equivalent of a hug, okay? And you should take the compliment and not say anything else. And that's how I dealt with the folks in that guild. Anyway, we're about 3 minutes now from the boss battle. That guild would eventually disband. And I would go my separate way as well. Go to guild events. Go to challenge a boss. We're going to fight the boss. We're going to fight what's called the merits boss. The merits boss provides merits as the reward. The merits boss, we go to the exclamation point for a description. The merits boss is called the Centaur Ruler. It is important to keep in mind that this boss is 2 different enemies. Each of these, I'm not even going to read the description, it's so convoluted. I'll give you the general gist. That's all you need to know. You've got 2 different guys here, okay? You got the guy on the left, it looks like he came from under the sea. You got the guy on the right who looks like he should be collecting a toll on a bridge somewhere. You have these 2 bosses. They each do different things. The guy on the left, he's the big boy. He's like the bodyguard. He's the guy who keeps the brains of the outfit alive. Okay, the big boss does a whole heck of a lot of damage. He'll stun you all up. He'll kill your heroes in a couple of hits. He is to be, I wouldn't say feared, but he's certainly somebody who should be regarded. He is the one that takes the longest amount of time to defeat. The majority of our battle will be against that particular boss. The one on the right is like the brains of the outfit. Okay? He has one particular ability above all others. Know your enemy. What does the enemy do well? Know your hero. What does your team do well? Focus in on that. Guy on the left does a bunch of damage, stun you all up. Guy on the right, he has a very high dodge rate. I just did a video on the trait system. He has a very high dodge rate. And that means he's not going to be able to be hit a certain percentage of the time. And I'm going to say a very high percentage, perhaps 50% of the time, if you're not outfitted properly. half the time you're not going to hit him. You're going to keep seeing the word miss, or you're going to see very low damage scores. He's a tough guy to hit. Both of these bosses, one on the left, one on the right, both of these bosses can be easily defeated, easily neutralized using scatter. Scatter is the key to this boss. Now, I have seen many a video, and they are very informative. People who took the time to record this, and maybe they use slowdown. That can be effective. You can win this boss battle, in a relatively short period of time using slow. Maybe you want to use a combination, but I think that scatter really is the key. Do I want to slow down somebody who's very dangerous? Make he or she come at me a little bit slower? Or do I want to completely shut this person down? It's like hitting them with a stun gun. Do you tell the raging criminal coming at you, hey, slow down? Or do you just blast the person with a giant stun gun? Okay, you use the stun gun. The challenge has begun. I'm going to hit the challenge button. Oh, excuse me. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to see at the bottom, Form Team. And you're able to create a team of 6. I'm going to show you the essential heroes. They're available to pretty much anybody. Okay, you must use these heroes in this mode against this particular boss. You've got to use Pumpkin Duke. Pumpkin Duke, without him, you're not going to get enough speed. Pumpkin Duke gives your team speed and a little bit of a attack bonus, and he gives them a shot of adrenaline. Okay, look at it that way. You need a Pumpkin Duke. You need that adrenaline shot to get the speed up. There is another hero, and so many times, I'm going to do a study on every hero, and we'll get into this guy in depth another time. But so many times I've heard about this hero, Phantom King. I've heard him, really devalued, or maybe just misunderstood, as though he's not an essential hero in this game. If you engage in this boss battle, if you need merits, he is essential. I would say in other game modes, not essential, but useful. He is outfitted with the natural skill ability to perform scatter, to reduce the energy of the enemy, and hit him with that zap that takes away their ability to use their skill. It is a good thing to outfit Phantom King with a scatter talent. The two, in this case, with this particular hero, they do add together. The natural skill ability that he has, and let's say he takes away 10 energy per hit, with the scatter talent providing another 5, you are going to be hitting for 15. They do add together. And now after this, you could pretty much do as you will. Now, I would go with heroes that have scatter. I'm not using any kind of like scatter crests or insignias. Trixie Treat has natural scatter. Her little pumpkins reduce the energy of the enemy here. Let's go look for other folks who have scatter. Our friend Candy Cane, I believe, has scatter. I don't really use her in this mode. I'm trying to pick out heroes that are pretty much accessible over at least the course of time to most folks. What's her name? Pixie. She has an inborn scatter. Let's see who else has scatter. Well, Motanica, he doesn't have scatter, but he has a lot of ways to lower the attack and the speed of the enemy. This is Heartbreaker. I believe she has some scatter in her naturally. We'll try her. We might get killed. I typically don't use these heroes, but these are heroes that you can get off of free rolls or just flat out purchase with shards. If you've got 20,000 shards and you do Torch Battle for the next 8 years, you'll be able to buy a Phantom King. I would suggest it. Who else has Scatter? That's a natural Scatter. I don't really think any of these folks. We should really use... a Gunslinger. Her little Compters have a natural Scatter to them. I need somebody to keep me alive. Let's try Walla Walla. Do I have somebody to put up in front? I don't. I'm going to need somebody who's really tough to put up in front. Somebody who can take a lot of damage. I want to use a Levanik or even Dovekeeper. Everybody has that Dovekeeper. Can I use Walla Walla as a tank? Oh my gosh. I'm going to try a couple... Oh my... Look, the boss is almost dead. Oh, okay, this is what you do. Maybe I'll do another one of these. You put your tank out in front. Just like in the last one, immediately the boss is going to say, hey, there's an enemy on the board, and clock in, hone in on that hero. Same thing with the little buddy that's hanging out behind him. You put your biggest, strongest person out there. Hopefully has some kind of a life drain or a way at least to stay alive. A healer maybe who's strong. You put that person out in front. And soon as the bad guys hone in, clock in on that hero and start doing a straight line towards that really tough hero that can heal, then you can just drop all your other heroes behind them. Now, I would suggest a certain order. I'm going to show you why. The big boy, he doesn't have any dodge. He's going to get hit every time. I would put your big tank up in front, and I would definitely put your Pumpkin Duke right on top of the big boy. This means your Pumpkin Duke is going to actually hit him. That means your Pumpkin Duke is going to use a skill, make everybody get that adrenaline shot. This is how you're going to be able to defeat this boss. I would then drop the other heroes on the little brains, the little imp behind him. Do not drop Pumpkin Duke on the little imp. Drop Pumpkin Duke second, maybe third, on the big boy who's nearly dead right now. Let's start off with Walla Walla, and don't use a shield. You need that energy. Okay, start off with Walla Walla. I'm going to drop him to the right. You watch the heroes take a beeline. All right, now it's just Pumpkin Duke go after the big boy, and the rest are after the little brains of the outfit. You know what? We're doing pretty well. Walla Walla is not designed for this. He's not designed to be. Look at what happened yesterday. I recorded a video on the trait system. Oh my sweet goodness, the revelation. I just got that chill. I feel like Denzel Washington again. I did some trait rerolls on Walla Walla to give him traits that were actually beneficial to him as a healer, as somebody I want to keep alive in combat. That could be making a tremendous difference. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Not only does the math bear out, showing us that this Walla that we have that has some extra health now, a little bit of dodge, this Walla, a little bit of accuracy. This Walla is a better Walla than that Walla I had before. Walla that had a bunch of damage-related traits, something that I should just keep on. No one really. Keep your heroes alive these days. Watch the trade video if you don't get my reference. My Walla, I re-rolled the traits and, did pretty well. Spent a couple of 1,000 gems. But, a week or two, 10 days accumulation, and now have something that's permanent. Instead of rolling for executioner and getting a slime, instead of doing this hero collector, you spend 100,000 gems, some folks, and come up with nothing. It makes no sense. All right, using a basic team without any pets or augmentations or equipment, I should say. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We did 174 million damage. That's actually quite substantial. We did a lot better than I thought we would do. I wish we would have had more runs, more attempts, more attacks against the big boy. We only have, you see that he's grayed out. He died. One of the two bosses is dead. We only have the brains of the outfit, the little imp. Oh, it's over. Well, this is what happens in guild life. Nobody was interested, apparently, in doing the torch, or very few. But many showed up for the merit boss. So, as resources, wax and wane move up the slide of availability and demand. Players engage in different game modes. Merits these days, they are important. They're used to upgrade your wardens. Without merits, you're not going to be able to upgrade your wardens. And merits are used to purchase items in the warehouse, and to do so each day with a new selection available every day at 2100. They are also giving away a couple of sign-in and wins over the last couple of days. Always check that. Always check to see under the events what is available. There are things available for a player who has chosen not to spend a dime. You can get some really nice skins for your heroes. You need 50 skin scraps to activate a hero skin. A hero skin is a cosmetic change on your hero. Make your hero look different, but also provide a couple of boosts. A little more damage, maybe, a little more health. Who knows? You have to look at it. Each one's different. Also gives, and I think most important of all, last but not least, the ability to hold two different talents. You can have one talent, you can have a second talent, and with a touch of a button, switch between the two. Every single hero that I have, whose skin I also have, where that two talent selection is available, every single one of them has an offensive and a defensive talent. I do this because I'm going to click on this Lazulix. A bad example. Okay, I'm going to click on Dovekeeper. Let's go to Dovekeeper. Can I see her in the Heroes Altar immediately? Yeah, I can. Okay, good. Okay, Dovekeeper. You see her skill. I'm looking at the upper third of the screen. You see her skill level 12, little hearts. We don't have to go into this now. Next to it is going to be her talent. And her talent is Unholy Pact. It increases damage, blah, blah, blah. Real damage dealing talent. But you see there's another talent below it. By clicking on it, I can do the old switcheroo. And now all of a sudden, one touch of a button, she's got a different talent. I put an offensive and a defensive talent on every hero. This means I'm not looking around for my second Dovekeeper. I'm not saying, where's my defensive Dovekeeper? Where's my offensive Dovekeeper? I have stated before on video, the point of these heroes is to be unique, to do one or two things not only differently than all the other heroes, but better. Each hero is his or her own card in the deck, okay? Each one is a unique, singular thing. Identify what each hero does best and put your time, effort, energy, resources, and supplies into making that hero better at that one or two things. Do not try to make a jack of all trades. Do not try to make a balanced hero. If a hero is low on health but does heavy damage, don't give that hero a bunch of health. All you're going to get is a hero that's as strong as it was before, but just now takes longer to die. If you've got a hero that does low damage but has massive health, do not give that hero damage. Now all of a sudden the hero's going to live just as long, but is only going to do a little bit of damage. Okay, it was not designed to be a jackhammer. It was designed to be a wall. Dovekeeper, she's designed to be both. She is designed to be a damage dealer. She is designed to be a wall. She can do offense and defense like it's nobody's business. She is assigned a skin, given 2 different talents. So I go offensively with Unholy Pact, something that causes a lot of damage. I go defensively, and I don't recommend this talent. I'm going to change this. It's so heartbreaking. It's such a kick in the pants. I have said this before on recording. I will say it again. Do not take a single talent up to level 9 unless you are 100% sure that this talent is going to be the best talent for the hero. When I did this, I immediately, when I got like my first couple of level 9 talent runes, I immediately prioritized my heroes. Okay, who's a hero who I want a level 9 talent on? I thought, oh, Dovekeeper. She's amazing. I want an offensive talent. I want a defensive talent, like I do with everybody. Okay, defensively, I struggled because Dovekeeper, at least from my perspective, is a difficult hero to outfit with a talent that is defensive in nature. She's got a damage cap. If I give her a talent that reduces damage, it's not going to affect that damage cap. She's still going to take the same amount of damage, that fixed damage that she always took. It's like I have no talent at all. I don't want to give her another damage talent. The best damage talent for her is already on her offensive side. Well, I want to give her a War God now. With the War God, I would do even less damage. I want my less damage dealing Dovekeeper for when I want to take it easy on the enemy, for when it's a dear friend. No, I want a good talent that is going to keep her alive. Now, I thought survival. And we'll do a talent video. It'll be 9 parts long. If I put survival on her, I don't like survival at level 9. Survival, by my metric, does not provide a big boost between level 8 and 9. You get a little bit more healing. You might get a few milliseconds more of damage negation. It's a few more drops in an ocean. You have, in terms of the volume of water, you have increased it by a few drops. But nobody can tell the difference. It's not worth it. So I thought, oh, this is brilliant. I'll do Life Drain. All right. Anything else I can use as an insignia. I'll give her a great survival insignia when she's in defensive mode. I'll give her something, some heavy hitting, maybe like a brute force when she's in offensive mode. But as her main talent, I love Life Drain in 1 or 2 situations with heroes. There was a big leap between level 8 and 9. I thought that's worth the investment. It's going to be amazing. Every hit. Every time she hits somebody, she's going to be restored by 20% health. She'll never die. She'll be invulnerable, invincible. I am not getting that result. I'm not getting that result because of the following reason. Dovekeeper sits on a base, and she sends out a bunch of doves to go flying around the board. The doves fly away from her. The doves go and attack the enemy. The doves have a mind of their own. They're out there attacking like they're their own heroes. She's still sitting at home on the base. This is equivalent to like somebody in New York who's up on the top of a building, and you got a bunch of pigeons. you say, fly, pigeons, and they fly out. They go in different directions. They got minds of their own. They pay you no mind. Her doves are the same way. They're out there attacking on the board. They don't come back to her and land on her shoulder. They don't report on their results out there in the field. They keep fighting until they are nullified or until they vanish. Her doves, when they attack the enemy, they do not provide her with an attack. It doesn't provide her with an attack that counts for life drain. Okay, so for example, uh, Anubis is about to attack Dovekeeper. Anubis sends out a right hand hook right to poor Dovekeeper's chin. Okay, but before he's able to get that hook off, before he's able to actually hit her, one of the doves pops up, and the dove says, "Hold on, Anubis," stops his punch in the middle of the air, and says, "You're not allowed to hit Dovekeeper." Okay, now the dove has taken the punch. Not Dovekeeper, she didn't get hit. Because her doves fly out across the board, and they're the ones that primarily get hit. Because Dove is sitting back at home on base, sitting atop the building watching the pigeons fly. She does not take the damage. Life drain doesn't work on her half the time. Okay, when she's sitting on a base defending, she is not necessarily herself taking damage. She's not taking damage until the enemy's right up in her face, until basically your base defenses have been blown up, until basically you've lost the battle. You're now toe to toe. If this is a Guild Wars scenario, you're now toe to toe before Life Drain starts working. You're now head to head in combat. So Life Drain, I am not making the argument, is useless. Half the time, if she's face to face with somebody and she's actually attacking, not her doves, then Life Drain's working. But the doves themselves do not activate the talent. I'm thinking these days, okay, over the last couple of weeks, I've been looking at this Life Drain and say this is horrific. Works only 50% of the time when somebody's hitting her in the head. I think I might go with a Flame Guard. At least Flame Guard, it's gonna, at level 9, it would give her a ton of more health. You get that huge bonus. That's a talent. Go to the talent encyclopedia. I go down here, I go to Encyclopedia Talent Compendium, and you can see the big difference between level 8 and level 9. Okay, look at this survival. We were talking about that a minute ago. Go to survival. At level 8, this is something that maybe an insignia would be available for. At level 8, you get a 1700 health boost. And you can't get hurt for 3 seconds. Okay, so for 3 seconds you can't take any damage. And you get a huge heal. Even with a hero that can heal, survival is amazing. It does take 7.5 seconds before it will reactivate. But it is something that always is going to work, okay? There's no chance to it. Get a big heal. You can't take damage for 3 out of 7.5 seconds. I mean, I could go on. Just talking about how amazing this particular edition of the game is. Now look at the difference between level 8 and 9. I'm going to hit the next button. It'll show you what the difference is, the ramp up. Remember how costly, how valuable a level 9 talent rune is. Well, you need 10 of them. Okay, so is this boost, this jump, going to be worth it? Survival at 8, so remember 3 seconds, 1700, 7.5. Go to next. 3 seconds, 2000, 7.5. We had 3 numbers at level 8, 3 seconds of damage negation. Whoever's got this at level 8 isn't going to take any damage for 3 seconds. We now made a huge investment and jumped to 9. Well, we still aren't going to take any damage for 3 seconds. Nothing changed. Go back to 8. Let's look at the second part of this particular talent. We were getting a heal. We were healing to a degree that, I mean, basically your entire health pool is going to fill up, okay? We get like a full body heal. It's like a trip to the spa. We get a full body heal. We heal up completely every 7.5 seconds. Let's look at level 9. After a big investment, we go from 1700 to 2000. Okay, with level 8, we fully healed. With level 9, we fully healed. There's no difference. Nothing happened. Let's go back to level 8. It's going to take 7.5 seconds for this particular talent to recharge. Let's look at level 9. It's going to take 7.5. No, you get my point. This is why I would never recommend survival as a talent. Only put the talents on your heroes that when taken to level 9 will give you the biggest bang for your resource buck. Okay, survival, even at maybe a level 5 insignia, is amazing. Now you've given a hero that doesn't heal his or herself the ability to heal and to not take any damage for 3 out of 7.5 seconds. So we have different, what the heck was the point of going in this particular game? Oh, it was my Dovekeeper rant. Okay, look at Life Drain. Let's go back to level 8. To fully appreciate this ramp up, now we're dealing with a completely different metric now, okay? To appreciate how this talent gets better and better, let's start at level 1. Every time a hero with level 1 Life Drain attacks, hits somebody, this hero is going to get a 1% of his or her health back. Let's say the health on Anubis, the maximum health on Anubis is 100. Okay, every time Anubis punches somebody, Anubis is going to get 1 health back. At level 2, Anubis is going to get 2 health back. Every time Anubis hits somebody, going to get 2 health back. 3 health, 4 health, 5 health, 7. We just skipped over 6. Talked in the last video about certain tiers in talents. All of a sudden you see them activating and really doing what they're designed to do. You get a glimpse of that. Now 10. Okay, at level 7 we had the big jump, the big level 7 tier, the big level 7 hurdle hoop that we went over. And now all of a sudden we got level 7 talent. This happens with Pumpkin Duke. If your Pumpkin Duke isn't at least level 7, do that. Make that priority 1. You'll do better in any game mode at that point in the game that requires Pumpkin Duke. And that's most. Look at level 8. Look at the jump. We're at 10%. We go to 15. It just increased by 50%. Every time Anubis goes and punches somebody, he's going to get 15 health back. We started with 1. Let's look at the jump. Is it worth 10 very resource heavy and expensive talent runes to turn this talent into a level 9? Well, the talent compendium will show you. 15 health, Anubis is getting back at level 9. We just ramped up another 5%. Okay, Anubis is now getting 20% of his total health back per attack. I thought this is going to make almost anybody invincible. Now, it is an amazing talent. It is a talent that on some heroes, perhaps you want to take up to 9 if you're able. I would not make this one of my priorities. There are other talents and I think better hero combinations for those who have maybe 1 or 2 options to take up to level 9. I would go maybe with something else, but it's not working on Dovekeeper 50% of the time. I want to show you, where are you, Flame Guard. This is the one I'm now considering. Flame Guard. Let me show you at level, get this full appreciation again. Okay, Flame Guard deflects damage. Anubis is coming at you, right? He's going to hit you for 100 damage. Okay, you're going to do 100 damage. You're going to be hurt for 100. Anubis is the town bully. It's going to hit you for 100 damage. But you got your Flame Guard on, okay? It's like your magic underwear. What it does is, when Anubis hits you, I mean, the guy's going to beat you up on the way home from school. But when he hits you, 8% of that hit is going to bounce back and hit him too. All right, so he's going to hit you for 100. The Flame Guard doesn't stop that, and it doesn't reduce damage. But 8 of that hit is going to come back and hit him. So when your head at level 1 Flame Guard, when your head's getting pounded in the sidewalk and you're screaming out at 100 damage level, Anubis is going to get a little tickle in his foot and saying, wow, that's 8 damage I'm feeling. Let's move up to, now it's 11. Anubis's whole leg is starting to hurt now. Okay, his lower body is starting to hurt. This is the story here. Sometimes numbers are always accurate, but they're not always correct. Okay, accurate and correct are two different things. Accurate means that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Correct means that, this is a problem that I don't want to solve now. It tells a story. Correct is about having the essence of the argument. It's very much like the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. An old man stole a piece of bread. Should he be incarcerated for 2 years for theft? Well, the letter of the law dictates that he should be put in a cage and kept there for 2 years for stealing a slice of bread. But the spirit of the law, the story that we tell through our actions that reflect on us as individuals, that story dictates that he should be set free. He was hungry. At level 6, you're getting a 25% damage reflection. Anubis is crying out now. At level 7, 30% of the damage he causes you is coming back at him. Let's look at the ramp up. Level 8, 45% of damage is reflected. Look at the huge difference between level 8 and 9. Boom. What just happened? The talent description changed. It got lengthier. Level 9 Flame Guard gives you 2 talents in 1. Let's look at level 8. Level 8 means that Anubis, as he's pounding your head, he's a tough hero, as he's pounding your head into the ground, you're still taking 100 damage. You're still crying out at the 100 decibel level. Nothing's going to stop that. Not with Flame Guard. But 45% of it, or the equivalent of 45 damage, is coming back at Anubis. And it's hurting him. It is reducing his health. It is adding to the damage you're doing through your attack. But at level 9, let's skip to the last part. It is now deflecting 50% of the damage that's coming back at Anubis. He's taking 50 for every 100 he gives you. Now that to me is not a tremendous difference. If that were the only part of this this talent increase, I would not take this to level 9. The jump between 45% and 50 does not justify the use of the resources required to make the talent level 9. But it also now increases your health, your HP, standing for health, your health pool, the amount of damage you can take, the health you have in battle. It now increases that by 40%. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, a new talent has appeared before us. Anubis, the town bully attack. This is the story. This is the correct story, not the accurate number. The correct story. Anubis, the town bully, is pounding your head into the ground. And we all been there. Anubis, the town bully, is doing 100 damage every time your head hits the ground. Flame Guard is not going to stop that. You will always be taking 100 damage. But 50 of that damage is coming back at Anubis. And every time he hits your head in the ground, Anubis is going to cry out at half the volume that you're crying out, but cry out nonetheless. Now, what is going to happen over the course of time? Anubis is going to say to himself, you know what? You can take a lot of damage, pal. I thought I was picking on somebody who's weak. Somebody who wouldn't make eye contact. You've got a heck of a health pool. I can keep doing this and doing this. But all that's going to happen is I'm going to feel half of it. Anubis decides to go pick on somebody else, okay? Or, better yet, Anubis decides to leave town. Or better yet, let's go to that guild story I told a little while ago. Anubis is going to learn. Anubis is going to learn to not bully people. Because people have the right to be comfortable. People have the right to be who they want to be themselves. And should not have to apologize to anybody. That is the beauty, the story, the poem that is recited by such a thing as Flameguard 9. What time is it? We are at 2200 system time. I would have liked to engage in more guild events this evening to a longer degree, to a lengthier time, in order to give you a better sense, especially for that merits boss, a better sense or feel of how to engage those two little shysters in battle. Please keep in mind they are two completely different bosses, two completely different enemies. One does damage, one has a really good ability to stay out of the way of damage. Remember, scatter is key. Slowdown is also effective. I find it to be less effective than scatter. Why slow somebody down when you can just say good night? Remember to stay away from Anubis. I'm bringing this to a close, everybody. Remember to stay away from Anubis. Or better yet, be the kind of person who does fight back. Fight back in a different way. By putting forth a positive example. By being a leader and a teacher. By being the kind of person who would take Anubis aside and say, my friend, there's a better way to treat people. There's a better way to be. There's a better way to live in this town. I'm going to bring this to a close. I know that as time goes on, I'm sure these topics are going to be varied and many. This is a look at guild life. This is a look at some of the things that I think about in terms of Castle Clash. I have an interesting role in a guild. I have the perspective of a player, and I also have the perspective of a manager, meaning that I have access to a screen, a management screen. This isn't Mission Impossible here. No magic red button. I ain't gonna do anything to anybody's account. But I do have access to a screen that helps me to manage guild affairs, event times when things are gonna start, putting out an ad maybe for recruitment, being able to hire and yes, fire those who are or once were team members. I would ask every player to ask his or herself, would you like to be a part of a guild? If the answer is yes, then I think like joining any team. I'll use a sports analogy. If you're going to join a football team, friend, don't play soccer, okay? For those, who are in the European time zone right now, European system time, if you're going to play if you're going to play football, footy, don't play tennis, all right? Do what it is that you want to do. Be the kind of player you want to be. But don't engage in guild life unless you want to be a guildie. You are taking, I believe, a place that could be filled by an active player who wants to engage in these game modes. I want to sign off soon. I want to thank the folks who commented about the most recent video. It was a lengthy affair. A look at that trade system. Maybe best bang for your buck in terms of gems. 150 is going to get you a blue slime. 150 could get you 2 level 5 traits if you've got a brand new hero or one that just reached that threshold. Have a great night. This is JudiciousFire. I'm at 2209 system time. I'm going to be calling it a night. I'm at 627 might. Remember, numbers are accurate, but they aren't always correct. I am accurately at 627 might. Correct? I'm sort of learning the story behind this game. I think it's because as I go through this game, I start seeing things from a different perspective, maybe from different angles, maybe through a different set of eyes. I see guild life as a player, I see guild life as a manager. I've seen this game when I'm starting out at player rank 10,000. I remember when I got into the top 1,000, number 999, I thought, no longer 4 digits, like this means anything. The correct story is that at 627, essentially I don't know any better than anybody else, okay? I'm simply sharing what it is I know, and that means trying to be a teacher, a good example in the game of Castle Clash, but far more importantly, doing so out there in the real world. We do show who we are over a course of time. Try to at least remind myself to try to be a good person and to let others be happy. Sometimes that means keeping my big mouth shut. Sometimes it means speaking up. Want to bid everybody a farewell, and I'll catch you on the next video. See ya.